Hey everyone, welcome to this week's GameSpot After Dark podcast. The big topics this week, Animal Crossing, dreams, and I'm so sorry for the amount that we talk about how much we need to pee, but timestamps are in the description below as always. Please enjoy. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 29 of GameSpot After Dark. I'm Lucy James, hosting this week in lieu of Jake Decker, who is...
In the loo.
Yes.
Joining me on the couch this week is Dave Klein.
Hey.
Kallie Plaguey.
Hello.
And Peter Brown.
Oh. Hey.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
So let's kick off this week before we get into what we've been playing / watching / doing, because we had the nice little holiday weekend. Nice.
Oh, yeah, we did, huh?
Yeah, 3 days of doing nothing. Let's do the Chris from Dayton, Ohio segment 2.2. So the Chris from Dayton, Ohio segment is basically like, who are you? What do you do?
It's what we do for everybody who's new on the show. Yeah.
Let's get to know people.
And we haven't really done it with the song for a while. So a song created by Timur Hussein, written, composed, and performed by Timur Hussein. But I will do a cover right now. Chris.
It has its own. I know I say this every single time, but we should formalize that jingle. Get some musicians in. Go on Audio Network.
Get some sweet backing tracks.
Yeah.
We can hire, people who make jingles for radio. Like that's a thing you can do.
We could totally. I
I
don't know what the budget is for that.
What company
can
do
we use
work
Fiverr?
for again?
Yeah.
Do you have
I
Fiverr
bet
here?
we could use Fiverr.
Just need a music. You know when you pay like $5?
There's no
just to get a
quality, no guarantee of quality with Fiverr, but we
is
could
that
do
what
it.
we're looking
Is that
for
what makes
here
it
at
funny?
GameSpot After Dark?
Yes. I'm hosting this week. It's loose.
Because Lucy?
Exactly. So the Chris from Dayton, Ohio segment. We're now up to Chris from Dayton, Ohio 2.2 with the patch notes from Kevin, who sends these in. And this is basically 20 questions to get to know you. We're going to do them rapid fire. Kallie, you and I have done these and answered these before. The patch notes for this week is question 10, Kevin's added SMG to cover all usual options. Question 20, he's added Kamiya after winning our fan poll.
Naturally.
Minor bug fixes and improvements. And he's actually proofread it to make Jake's life easier.
Jake really just can't read.
Me neither.
So for clarification, Chris from Dayton, Ohio originally was the person who asked us basically, who the hell are you? I
Yes.
love that email so much. And then Kevin has iterated upon it with rapid fire questions. And that is what...
All right.
Where's Kevin from?
Kevin is from West Hartford, Connecticut.
06107. That's where I was born. I grew up in West Hartford, Connecticut. No, seriously, I'm not joking around. That's ridiculous.
Well,
We don't even need the 20 questions at this point.
Do you know, Kevin's surname is Nejfelt. Nejfelt?
I know you, Kevin. I grew up on Pine Brook Lane, right near Duffy Elementary School. This is ridiculous.
Somebody's getting doxxed.
Sorry, I just wow.
That's wild.
No one ever talks about West Hartford.
The way we did this the first time we did the first 2.0 before the patches, we did it like in a row answering the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll ask the question, Dave, you answer, then Peter,
And
you
then
answer.
I'll just sit here and smile.
You can just like approvingly nod,
Yeah, or
which
shake my head.
wouldn't help you if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast.
Hi, Kevin.
But they'll know. They'll know she's
They'll know.
approvingly nodding or shaking her head.
Just watch the video version on YouTube.
Approvingly shaking her head.
Got to plug
Sure.
the match.
I'm shook.
Yes.
All right. Number 1. In MMOs, DPS, healer, or tank?
DPS.
DPS.
In Pokemon, grass, fire, or water starter?
Watcher.
Grass.
Number 3, Sonic or Mario?
Mario.
Mario.
Sorry.
That's a joke you won't get unless you watch the video version where Peter made a
Did the
gesture.
weed thing.
Did the weed thing.
GameSpot.com/YouTube.com.
Number 4, Life is Strange, Walking Dead, Gone Home, or What Remains of Edith Finch?
I've only played Walking Dead, so I'll go with that.
What remains?
Number 5, a game that's made you the angriest.
Dark Souls.
Stella Deus.
No, Disco Elysium. Maybe I'll talk about it. I'm angry at the writing. Okay, let's move on.
We'll come back to that.
Dave's here for a fight.
Number 6, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter?
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
7, Halo, Overwatch, Quake, Siege, or Call of Duty?
Call of Duty.
Quake.
8. Most desired Smash Ultimate Edition.
Like, what do you mean in terms of edition of Smash Ultimate? Like
Like a character.
Character? Gino, now.
Disc-kun.
Wait, no. Phoenix Wright. I take it back.
Oh, okay. Number 9. Linear or open world?
Linear, usually.
I don't know.
Number
I don't
10.
know you now.
I feel like I don't know you at all. Number 10. In first-person shooter games, shotgun, SMG, assault rifle, or sniper rifle?
Shotgun.
Assault rifle.
11. Co-op, single player, or multiplayer?
Single player.
Single player.
12. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, or Ouya?
Ouya. I'm going Ouya. Nintendo.
If it's only those, PlayStation.
13. Ooh, unlucky for some. Favorite controller ever?
Actually, the Switch controller, because I hold it like this. For people who can't see, I just do the ultimate lounge position with my arms completely apart.
Oh, nice.
So I love that I can do that with the Switch controller.
Nice.
The Super Nintendo controller, I guess.
14. Pop-Tarts or toaster strudel?
Pop-Tarts.
Toaster strudel.
Ooh, I smell a sitcom. 15. Is it cheating if a friend tells you how to beat a part you're stuck on?
Nah.
No.
16. Is it cheating if you save scum?
Nah.
I mean, well, hold on. What is cheating, really? No.
I don't know. I've been on
Emotional
r/relationships
or-
and apparently everything is cheating.
No. Save scumming because you're only using the tools you were given.
Right.
So-
If you put on big head mode, that's cheating. But save scumming, okay.
So like
17.
action replay is one thing.
Yes.
Sorry.
Danny O'Dwyer or Dan? Okay, for 2.3, that's not how you spell Reichert, but Dan Reichert.
Riker.
You can plead the 5th on this. Is that the right one?
I pled the 5th. Yeah,
Is that the right? I don't know.
Danny O'Dwyer, because he
that's
has
the right amendment. Yes.
Thank you.
he knows too many things about me. So Danny O'Dwyer.
18. Game on a couch or at a desk?
Couch, 100%.
Couch.
Or, I mean, I would like also a bed to be at a
Yeah,
desk. Because
yeah,
some
bed.
of us have to.
Bed wins.
I don't have a couch in my room. 19. Favorite gaming snack?
Oh. None. I don't like eating while I game. Get your hands messy.
Garrus Vicarian.
Smart food. Smart food.
Yeah.
Yeah, those,
Woo!
that cheesy
Smart
popcorn
food
is good.
gang out here.
And finally, Miyazaki, Kamiya, Sakurai, Miyamoto, Kodaka, or Kojima?
It's just like
Miyazaki or Miyamoto. I'm going to go, since I'm a Dark Souls guy, I'll go with Miyazaki. But it's such a toss-up. I'll go with Miyazaki now. Currently Miyazaki.
Only Kojima because there's no one else really like him.
That's true.
I heard he was like pleasant in the office, like really wonderful to be around when he was here.
He's great.
He was great. I was surprised with the number of people that he and Shinkawa brought with them.
Yeah.
It was like 8.
Do you want to just in Kodaka-san's defense, not defense, but just like the reason Kodaka's even on that list is because I was like Kodaka, because Kodaka made Danganronpa, and I interviewed Kodaka once, and I was like, what do you think about like because Kodaka's whole thing was like I just kind of made a game that I would like, and I didn't think that it would have such a huge fan base. I was like, what do you think about all the people who love this game so much? And he was like, I don't see them as fans, I see them as nakama.
Oh,
And
right.
I was like,
right.
What does that mean?
that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. Nakama is like comrades. I guess is the
okay.
closest
Wait, hold
English
up.
translation.
Is this like some Fast and Furious bullshit where it's like, I don't
We're
have
family.
friends.
Yeah.
They're family.
Family.
They're family.
People who love that high school murder shit were nakama.
Hey.
I mean, speaking of
Danganronpa
high
was
school
dope.
murder shit, I'm literally wearing a Zodiac Killer shirt that my roommate bought me from the Alamo.
So Kallie,
Draft
you're a Danganronpa fan, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
999 or Danganronpa? Which-
Danganronpa.
Over 999.
Yes.
Okay.
I
is
would have
that
said
the end
Yasumi Matsuno. Just want to put that out there.
Oh, we could get that added in.
Okay, so 2.3, Kevin, you got your work cut out for you. Was that all of them?
That was all of them. That was 20. That was rapid fire.
Here's a question for Kevin. Kevin,
What high school did you go to?
Connor Chieftain. No, exactly. Connor Chieftains or Hall. I don't know what the Hall mascot was because it was just blue. That's all I have to say. Connor
Also-
Chieftains. Let's go.
Kevin, what's your home address?
I mean, don't actually email us your home
Please
address.
don't.
No, please
that
don't.
was a joke.
Yes.
That's a joke.
But, I do enjoy that We've got this little
That's so
romance
cool.
burgeoning.
Yeah, I feel like the significance is not really being celebrated here. But
No, that's really cool.
That's nuts to me.
Especially
Yeah.
like
A small town in a small state. Connecticut's very small.
It's not like it was like we're both from New York City. Like it's, you know, it's
To be
it's
fair,
hard to
I find that really weird when, for me, being in America, because I still can't get over how big it is.
Yeah.
Whenever I run into someone that I know on the street, I'm like, oh my God. Because it's just, you can't get anywhere that's not
Oh yeah.
in such a short period. Like back in the UK, if I was in London, if I wanted to go see my mum, it's 3 hours on a train. If you go first of all, are there trains here? I don't know.
not really.
If you
I
go
mean,
3
yes,
hours in any
but-
direction, you're still in the same bloody state.
I think just LA to San Diego is the only train I really know. I don't know.
We have
There's
the
some.
Amtrak, but it's like a whole thing.
I think I tried to take it once, and then we ended up getting a bus instead.
Yeah, I really
Yeah.
I'm so into public transit now. Like I'm really like a train person. I'm like, we need high speed rail.
I
And we
just
were
want-
gonna have a
I mean,
train.
that
I just
train
want
would have been
the
incredible.
Elon Musk like the tube. I want the tube from San Francisco to LA. That's
The way
what I
Oh,
want.
that one, yeah.
Yeah,
The way
the
he sort of
pneumatic
like
tube.
whittled it down now is just like, you say man tube. It's like, yeah, literally like 1 or 2 people at a time can
Really?
go.
Because like
Yeah,
the
'cause
last
it's-
one I saw, the test had like a passenger car. At least that was the idea.
That was the idea, but I think like
Now it's 1 or 2
a year
people.
ago, the execution or
And
the
it was like a
the
car.
concept was like, yeah, we could fit
Yeah.
like a car that fits in here with like a couple people that could go
Just
that
like
fast.
Futurama.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, just like Futurama.
right.
I'm still fine with that.
Yeah.
Because when you said tube, I thought you meant
You can't.
The
The
Futurama
London.
tube.
won't
No,
have
the
it.
London
the London
tube.
tube. Oh yeah. No, we'll never have public transportation that nice.
no, it's not.
Never say never.
I mean,
Good point.
the infrastructure here is not built for it.
No.
I
Well,
still find
But
we
it.
don't, we don't have any
like,
gaps to mind. That's really the issue. If we had more gaps.
All right, what have you all been playing / watching / doing this week? Dave, let's start with you.
I've finished Disco Elysium. But I don't want to talk about that. I don't like it that much, and everyone else loves it. So let's talk about the fact that I'm playing Hollow Knight on Steel Soul mode, which is permadeath mode. And it's like, it's been intense. I played Hollow Knight last year for the first time. Picked it up again for the flight, actually, because I'm here from LA. I was like, what's Steel Soul mode? I don't know what this is. I haven't played the game in a year, and it's like a whole new way to experience it. It's such a good game. And it's also the perfect way to prep for Silksong coming out. For everyone who hasn't played Hollow Knight, it's like it's a Metroidvania style game with like Dark Souls infused in a way, and it's really good.
Because your history is you started as a Soulsborne YouTuber, and then you came to work with us, but you work on GameSpot Universe, which is our entertainment team.
Yes.
You still dip your toe into Soulsborne every so often.
I mean, I'm just more of a general game. Like I majored in video game design and computer science.
Oh.
I worked at Polaris. I worked at Machinima. I've done a lot of game
Because
stuff.
Tam knew you when you got hired. He was like, wait, Dave
Yeah.
Klein? I know
Yeah.
that name because Tam's obviously a huge Soulsborne guy.
Yeah. So like my YouTube channel, I got known for Soulsborne stuff. But now I've kind of branched out because I mean, there's not much Soulsborne stuff. There's Sekiro, but I mean like,
GameSpot's
I like
Game of the Year
games in
2019.
general, so it's nice to branch out. But yeah, Hollow Knight's just like, it's so good for everyone who hasn't played it. It's like one of the best indie games of the past 10 years, I think.
A friend of mine, they're a couple, and they both have matching Hollow Knight tattoos. It's very cute.
That's great. I like that.
Do you find playing it on Switch portably is significantly different than say playing it like on a screen with a normal controller?
I mean, I played it for the first time on my Switch, but on a TV, so it's hard for me to compare that much.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
like, I guess portably, it's a little bit easier because my TV cuts off the screen a bit. So,
Oh, weird.
yeah.
Actually,
and
mine
also,
does on Switch.
actually, the nice thing about playing it portably is that since I play my Switch like this, as I mentioned, with my arms completely across or like spread
one
out.
Joy-Con in each hand.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I accidentally press the controller diagonally without realizing it.
Sure.
So that's the downfall when you're playing a game like Celeste. I've had so many
Oh.
screw-ups where I wanted to throw the controller
Yeah.
because of that. But Hollow Knight, when you're playing it like handheld, you never screw up because you're holding the controller normally. So that's like the only difference I can note is that I'm holding a controller
Oh, is
normally.
that
So
like
that's
if
nice.
you really want to get lazy?
Oh,
then you're gonna have problems.
I am
lounge
so
with it.
loungy with my Switch. It's the best.
I mean, I would find a way to screw up Hollow Knight anyway. I think Hollow Knight intimidates me so much. I haven't played it.
It's
like
actually-
I have it. I own
tried.
it.
I feel like it
tried
has a
multiple
fairly
times.
good learning curve, though. It's
think
not
so?
like so intense.
It does. I think so. I started playing it, and I had no real knowledge of it and what it was really like. And I started playing it. I got immediately discouraged. And then I watched Mark Brown, Game
Yeah.
Maker's Toolkit. He did a really great series. He did a couple on Hollow Knight, and I was like, oh, I really want to. It's just now in the unfortunate backlog.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
games
that gets so big. Backlogs. But yeah. For anyone who knows Hollow Knight,
I never play my Switch on the Muni.
That's fair.
I don't trust San Francisco.
Speaking of public transit, yeah.
Yeah. But for anyone who knows Hollow Knight, I literally right before recording this just finished the Mantis Lords. So, and I just started playing it yesterday. So
damn,
we'll see where I get to before I die and then never want to play permadeath mode again. This is like, you do it once and you're like, never again. I got too far, wasted too much time.
Yeah.
But it's intense. I don't know. I like that. I like when games, but I guess that's why I like Dark Souls, but I like the challenge of it when like everything matters so much and you get to that critical moment. It's like, I like games with lives, for example, like Mega Man. And a lot of people don't like that, but I like when it's so intense when you have one life left and you're like, everything matters so much and nothing can really replicate that feeling. And that's what permadeath mode feels like. So it's fun to me in that regard. I'm sure I'll get frustrated when I die, but until then, it's like, you're so focused in on it. It's great.
Damn. You are selling Hollow Knight to me, but I am playing Bloodborne at the moment, so.
Oh, well, you know what? Bloodborne's better, honestly.
Oh, then, wow.
I mean, sure, Tam.
Life cheering in the back.
I feel validated in my choice. Well, come back to me.
I'm sure did Tam sell you on Bloodborne? Was it all Tam?
I'm waiting for him, the voice of God, because he is in the control room.
Damn.
Fear the old blood.
He said, "Fear the old blood." If you can't pick that up, no.
My eyes
slip
are
in.
yet to open, but your eyes will open.
No, because I keep starting Bloodborne. I've started it multiple times, and I'm playing it with someone right now. So we're doing past the controller. Whenever we die, person I'm playing with has finished it, but because I've started the game so many times, I know the opening areas really like suspiciously well.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, we need to go around here and find this bit. But the way that I'm approaching it, I think after playing Sekiro, is that I'm like actively being more careful, but also more aggressive, if that makes sense.
I mean, Bloodborne kind of forces you to be aggressive since you don't have a shield, though.
To get your health back. But I mean, there were times when I used to play where I'd back up and I'd mess up my stamina and I would just do everything I could to get out of dodge, rather than now when I'm playing, I'm actively going, okay, 2 hits, dodge.
Yeah.
Like not recover, but sort of reset a little bit. And then, so I'm enjoying it. We're blasting through it.
I feel like From Software games really prep you for other From Software games.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
like you playing Sekiro. You're more prepped for Bloodborne now.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm kind of like working backwards. H-Bomber Guy did a really great video about how Bloodborne similarly teaches you how to play Dark Souls, in that it encourages you to be more aggressive when you're playing Dark Souls instead of just turtling behind a shield.
Yeah, it's more fun to play that way too, I think.
Are you laughing at turtling?
Yes.
I was like, what did I miss?
Yeah, I know. I
Peter and
said
I are
it.
just on a
I said
wavelength.
it, and then I felt bad. Kallie, what have you been playing?
I mean,
Or doing or seeing? Being.
Briefly, I will say, I have been trading on Pokemon Home, and this is kind of like a newsy thing because Pokemon Home added, you can now get like abilities on Pokemon you couldn't get before. So, like an example is Clefable. You couldn't get its hidden ability in Sword and Shield. I'm not sure why. I don't know what the reasoning is because there's other Pokemon you can get their hidden abilities just fine. So I've been going in Pokemon Home and like searching these hidden ability Pokemon that you couldn't get before to get them into my games to like trade with people. So I got a bunch. I got a hidden ability Clefable and a hidden ability like it's not interesting, sorry. But anyway, I've been doing that.
Interesting. I've said this before. I love hearing you talk about Pokemon.
I mean, I just like...
We get emails about how much people love hearing you talk about Pokemon.
I have a lot of fun. I really like competitive Pokemon. And for Valentine's Day, my boyfriend bred me a shiny Pokemon.
Wow.
Which was like, it took him... He said he added 20 hours to his save just doing that. But he was like, I did leave it on for a little while. So it probably wasn't full 20 hours. But it was like one that I wanted. And so now I'm like figuring out how I'm going to train it. So that's fun.
That's incredible. I play every other Pokemon game, and I play them in depth when I play them, and I've still never gotten a single shiny. So to me, that's incredibly impressive.
My first shiny Pokemon that I got, like, just I happened to encounter it, was in Alpha Sapphire. So after like 15 years of playing Pokemon games, I finally encountered a shiny, and it was a Whismur. And then, but I did find a shiny in Shield, like a Pokemon can like charge at you, right? In Sword and Shield. And I wasn't looking. I was like, I'll play in between rounds of like Siege or something sometimes, because we still play Siege for fun. And I'll be playing, and I wasn't looking. I was doing something else, and then when I looked down, a Sableye was running at me, and it was shiny, and it like charged at me, and then I was like, oh shit, and then I like tried to dodge it, I didn't, and then it was shiny, and I was like. I just screamed. I was like, so.
Did you just open your arms like, charge me?
Yeah,
Come
I
at
was
me.
like, now I'm gonna let every Pokemon that tries to attack me. But I've since this is the first game where I've actually tried to breed shiny Pokemon. I guess I caught some shiny Pokemon in Let's Go because it was kind of easy. It was like the easiest shinies that you could get in the series. And then I bred a shiny Eevee for an Umbreon because they were like Umbreon, and you can make it competitive if you want to. And now I have a shiny Zigzagoon, which is what I really wanted. It looks like a clown.
I love the Zigzagoon.
He named it.
Aw.
Guess what he named it?
I know
Ziggy?
this. It's very cute. Well, it's not-
Gacy.
yeah. I said cute, but I mean like
In our
our
world,
true crime loving world.
Fair.
he named it Gacy, like the
Aw.
serial killer who dressed as a clown. So that's true romance for you. Other than that, I saw Snowpiercer
Ooh,
Oh.
for the first time.
I like Snowpiercer.
How'd you like
a
it?
lot.
You did or did not?
I do.
Yeah.
So I feel like Parasite kind of ruined me for other Bong Joon-ho films because
But I haven't seen Memories of Murder yet.
I haven't either.
I saw this like Netflix one. That's other than Parasite.
Okja.
Akja, yeah.
I'm not gonna watch. I don't. That's just gonna upset me. But Snowpiercer, I felt like it's very much like a '80s high concept kind of movie, apocalyptic, and I did not enjoy it for like 75% of the movie. I thought the acting was kind of bad.
Chris Evans.
I have no affinity for Chris Evans.
The best Chris.
Same. I kind of fell off that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the ending. I did, and I'm glad I saw it through the end. But I was just like,
Did you both love Parasite too and didn't like
Oh, it
Snowpiercer?
was my favorite movie last
Okay.
year.
I loved. Parasite
It's-
was my favorite.
Maybe Snowpiercer is worth a rewatch on my end,
Yeah.
but I didn't get through the movie. So you talk about the ending, like I don't actually know
Yeah.
how to react to that because I actually felt 3/4 of the way through kind of bored with Snowpiercer, and it's hard for me to articulate why now because I watched it when it kind of came out, which is a long time ago.
But
But-
the TV show's coming out very soon.
That's great.
I'm really curious because
I don't know how that's going to translate.
the world building of it. So Snowpiercer is about like the world has frozen over and the last survivors of humanity live on a train and it's always moving, and it's basically just like class dynamics, the movie, but condensed into this small space. And I kind of hate Tilda Swinton. I find her so
That's a
annoying.
in that case, yeah,
controversial
definitely don't
opinion
watch
of the year, I
Okja.
think.
I
What? Is it controversial? I just don't like her. I don't know.
I like how quick.
Pretty well beloved, I think.
I'm so curious about Snowpiercer though, because like I didn't like Okja. I really
Yeah.
disliked Okja, and I thought like I like Parasite. It was honestly my favorite movie of the year, but it was good. So like genuinely really well crafted movie. But Snowpiercer's trailers are good, so that's where I'm like, ooh, the trailers
They're-
are intriguing.
My favorite Snowpiercer fact, and I liked the scene too. There's a scene with a fish.
Yes.
And if you've seen the movie, you'll know the scene, unless you didn't get that far. I don't know if you saw the fish scene.
I don't remember much about the
Yeah.
movie now, to be honest. It's been so long.
But apparently, a certain Rongan who was involved in the
Big wrongin'.
in the production. If you watch the movie, you'll also know who it is because it's his production company that produced it. Didn't want the scene in the movie, and Bong Joon-ho was like, "It's a tribute to my late father, who was a fisherman." And then this producer was like, "Okay, I'll let you leave the scene in the movie." And then Bong Joon-ho, after the movie came out, was like, "Psych, my father wasn't a fisherman."
That's cool.
Another unfortunate thing about that producer is one of the last films that was released by his production company when all the allegations came out was Paddington 2.
Oh,
One of the best movies.
One of the
Just
best
a wonderful
movies
movie.
ever made,
Yeah.
with an unfortunate. But, Paddington's so good and wholesome that
that helps.
It helps.
Oh, bother.
No. Peter, what have you been... I'm going to skip past you for that. Now, what have you been doing, playing, seeing?
Honestly, I haven't been playing as much as I would like to say. I've been more doing,
Ooh.
but still around games. I think for the past 2 years, I've been really into tinkering with electronics, and every month that evolves into me taking a new console and figuring out, okay, what is the community developed around it? Can I install this mod using esoteric knowledge that's really not available in the places that you'd think when you're buying a product? You think you'd get instructions how to do it, and it's like, no, not really. So lately, I've been focusing on the world of Game Boy Advance. There's been some new developments with like the sort of screens you can install.
On the Game Boy Advance?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So well, it's actually it applies to all lines of Game Boy now, but there are IPS screens that you can put in. In the past, we had like backlit LCD screens that you could, say, take out of the second version of the Game Boy Advance SP and put into the first one, which had front lit stuff. Or you could put it into an older Game Boy Advance and have the backlit on there. The IPS panels are higher resolution, so you get a crisper image, 180 degree pretty much viewing angle, and just super sharp contrast. It's been really nice. It's been really fun to play with old consoles and handhelds and get new things out of them using technology developed by the community that really loves this stuff.
So is there a Game Boy Advance community?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Every system, even something like the 3DO recently, had a really big, like, hey, we've got RGB mods out now for the 3DO, which RGB is sort of like uncompressed analog video where each color channel gets its own dedicated signal versus something like composite that takes red, green, and blue and the sync line, which tells the TV where to put it all in one. And that's why composite's not that good. So, yeah, tapping into stuff for old consoles, it really depends on, is the community there and are the engineers there to help support that community? And pretty much every system has that right now. So the next one I'm kind of looking forward to is consoleizing a Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
People have installed for the past year or so kits into a Virtual Boy where you basically tap into one of the screens from one of the eyes and you can output it to your TV or computer monitor. But now someone has built a 3D case where you take all the guts out of the Virtual Boy, put it in there, and you can output stuff like that.
Do you think that would work with the Virtual Boy games? Because a lot of them really did try to harness in on that 3D factor.
Some of them did.
I mean, some of them didn't, but some of them did.
Yeah, I don't think it's that critical, to be honest with you. There are only, I'm going to misrepresent the number here, but like 24 Virtual Boy games.
I know, it's so small.
They're not a
Yeah.
ton. For me, it's part of it is playing the games. Part of it is interfacing with the technology in a modern way and in a way that's very hands-on for me. Like, for example, when I first started modding systems, I screwed up this pretty valuable Japanese system, and I kind of took that as a learning experience. Also was upset about it. But now, about 2 years later, I was like, I want to open this thing up, and I thought it was long gone, but maybe I can fix it. It wasn't like I did some things wrong. It was like I broke off components, like things got mangled. I was able to revive it. And that was like, not just for the value of the hardware, which does matter, but the idea that like, you know, these hands, like I can, you know, I can, it's super gratifying and fulfilling. But if I'm going to talk about, you know, modern stuff, which I should be on this podcast, I think it's like Dreams is the thing right now in front of me that I'm very interested by, and not even in terms of right now. I think Dreams is going to be a thing. You know, like Little Big Planet lasted for an entire generation, had 3 games and whatever. We don't need that from Dreams. Dreams is today what it needs to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they can still fold in new technology, and it's a wonderful, in my experience, platform for expression, and that's pretty cool.
I am curious to see what Dreams yields, because I feel like Little Big Planet was so within Little Big Planet. You know, like you had the game, and only if you're a big Little Big Planet fan, that runs together. But like if you were a Little Big Planet fan, that's the only way you really experience those like creative, you know, what people created for the game. I'm hoping Dreams goes beyond that.
Yeah, and I think maybe this is partially what you're saying, but like I hope Dreams stops being a product you have to buy separate from being a PlayStation owner. I think heading into a new generation, like what an offer to give people. Like, hey, there's a game engine into this console that you have access to, and anything else anyone else is making or playing, go for it. This idea of dream surfing is really special, but I think like Little Big Planet, like the strength of that series and the popularity of it online was, oh, this guy made a calculator. Can you believe they did something so complicated? Sure, they're not Little Big Planet fans, but they'll show up for that video to watch that. With Dreams, it seems to be a bit more intangible. Like, what's going to be impressive in Dreams? It doesn't necessarily have to be elaborate. It can be something super simple that just communicates emotion in a very sincere way with an effective delivery. And I've just like seen some things that are really cool. Like for example, someone's built like a clone of Wipeout, the racing game, and that in and of itself is like, oh, sick. Yeah. That ship is modeled super well. I get the sense of speed from that game. But then you start to notice like, what are these billboards for? Like all around the level, and those billboards in this particular game are actually other creations and dreams.
Oh, that's cool.
That they're sharing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Things that have taken on a life of their own within this universe of creation that obviously until you're embedded in it, it's not going to mean anything to you. But when I think of like an ecosystem of games where the community is sort of tapped into it, the potential for dreams is almost immeasurable. And it's crazy. This game has been in development for the entire span of the PlayStation 4's life cycle for the most part, probably going back a little bit further. Here we are finally getting it like on the dawn of PS5. Like, sure, PS4 will be relevant, but it almost feels like, you know, a game is only relevant for a certain amount of time. If it comes out, we'll talk about it. If it doesn't, well, have you eclipsed your relevance? I think some people feel that way about dreams, and I feel like that's unfortunate.
I feel like they had a very difficult time telling people what it was.
Of course. Because it sounds very, you know, I think even in the office we're talking about it, and it's all people can think about when they talk about it, in my experience, is, oh, well, making the games isn't going to be as intuitive, or you're not going to make something that's as good as what a game developer makes. David Jaffe has a video on YouTube where, in my opinion, he very short-sightedly says, like, no one's going to give a shit about this because if they're buying it to play games, you know, they're not going to get things that they're expecting for the $60 purchase. And if they're actually good at making games, they're not going to make them in dreams. They're going to make them in like, you know, whatever. But I think this is not about making games that pass the litmus test of what's a great game. It's creating something that you can communicate to someone else in a way that you can't do via text, via video, via whatever. It's an interactive experience. The sky's the limit in a lot of ways with dreams. And like, I don't know, like what the fuck is that going to bear? Like,
a lot of people got jobs out of creating mods for Warcraft 3 and StarCraft. So I actually do wonder if things like Little Big Planet and Dreams.
Oh, they already have.
It's already
people are getting jobs from that.
People who worked on Little Big Planet in the community definitely have jobs at Media
for
Molecules.
Dreams.
So yeah, I mean,
Same
I guess
for
like
Dreams.
in that regard, like, I mean, I wish I had something like that when I was a kid. So I feel like at least like there's a really good entry level way to show what you can do if you have interest without needing to know programming and all the, you know, the back end, which is nice.
Yeah, and then also to Peter's point, like seeing what people create outside of the limitations of other systems or like outside of the limitations of the market for making games too. Like, I mean, I haven't really messed around with it too much, but I saw somebody just recreated the Stardew Valley, like Pelican Town in 3D.
Yeah,
with the music, and you can just walk around, and like it's not like a game. You just get to walk around, and that's one of my favorite games of all time. And it was just cool. Like that was just a cool thing. And but there's also like meme shit too. You know, there's like,
have you seen the Joker game?
No, but I saw the one where you start off in a little medieval town, and then a huge Shrek drops out of the sky and says, "What are you doing
in my swamp?" The Joker one, as Greg was tweeting about it the other day, Greg Miller, it's you basically control Joker sort of like Quap coming down the staircase.
Yeah.
That's just the whole thing. And that's what a perfect little meme vignette to
That's
make.
fantastic.
But then also there's really heartfelt things, people expressing themselves. I think it's and I know that like there's a lot of curation that goes into it too. Like
there is some, yes.
There's like kind of like, is there like a home, not home page, but like
the Dreamverse?
There's like dream surfing where you can like search for stuff and find new things.
So yeah, surfing is the general term for just literally like I want to engage with games and move through them in different ways. And I think the sort of stuff you're describing, right? Like, oh yeah, I want to find the Sonic levels. I want to, is there one based on this game I love or like a meme? And like, that's going to be one side of this game's story, which is how it facilitates social engagement around things that people already love. There's the other side of it that is the very personal experience that I don't think is going to be very easy to communicate to others because something, you know, you have an emotional reaction to something that clearly is just like intangible, indescribable in a way. Yeah, it looks like crap. It doesn't play well. Like, you know, maybe, but you get something from that. That's going to be the thing that I think gives Dreams its longevity. That's going to be somewhat undefined in like the mainstream perspective of what Dreams is. I mean, the fact that it's by default called a game fundamentally shows that people aren't well, maybe it's not marketed properly as well, but yeah, like, I don't know. Dreams can be so many things. It can be a social media platform. It can be an outlet. It can be a source of reconciliation or relations. And I don't know. That's the sort of thing I'm really excited about right now. I'm waiting for big games to come, obviously, but Dreams is this thing that seems to be just like bubbling beneath the surface of like no one's like excited for Dreams. And I'm just like, I wish there was a little bit more something of that. I guess for transparency, like I did an interview with Siobhan Reddy, like one of the heads of Media Molecule. She was like co-founder, and the whole conversation was, how do you bring this game across a generation? Like, how does that feel to finally release it? Her emotions were effective, but it was the stuff they were telling me about the community where they literally started crying, like in our meeting. Abby, I feel so bad. Sorry?
Abby Happy.
Yes.
Abby
Happy?
Yeah,
she works for that team?
She does now, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
So she's on the community side, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
She actually started crying like in our meeting, just talking about the sort of things that happen because there's like a hashtag that goes around and people can like latch onto it to share their stuff. And it just sounds like, I mean, video games can be so calculated and cold and entertainment based and frivolous in a lot of ways and very personal just to you. And it's hard to really share something unique between people. And it was like, God, this thing exists here that just does that, provides that platform for people to connect. And
I think my issue with Dreams is being a curmudgeon-y old man and being like, I didn't have that when I was a kid and I'm jealous and I'm angry because I wish I had that when I was a kid.
Sure. Yeah. You know, I guess lastly to what Kallie was saying, the Dreams surfing stuff, you can turn it on auto so it takes you to random things. That's really all I want to use Dreams for. I have no interest in making something myself, but to see a random glimpse into someone different than me and like what they want to say, like maybe they're not all going to be good, but
it'll be like Mario Maker levels. You know, there's some really brilliant ones that shine, and then there's like, wow.
Yeah, but the variables are so controlled in Mario Maker, right? Like Dreams, it's like you don't know what you're going to get.
You have no idea. And like,
no idea.
I think one of the most beautiful things about that is giving people the freedom to make bad art.
Yeah.
Like I think
it's just DeviantArt, the game.
Yeah, I mean, like I really think it's important for people to feel comfortable making bad things, like make bad art, like have your shitty creation, but like make something, say something. And I feel like people don't often, especially with art. I mean, people really don't. It's hard to make money creating things. It's just something people don't really get a lot of support for, and so I think it's really special. Obviously, you have to buy in the $60 in the PS4, but like it's nice to not have to worry about like, am I going to get paid for this? Like it's just like I get to make my bad thing that I just want to make.
The big question in my mind now is like, are bad things worth preserving? Of course they are.
Yeah.
For some people, but not everyone controls what happens, what they make in Dreams. It's the one thing I regret not really asking Siobhan is like, so what happens 10 years from now when Dreams dies? Like if it dies, you know, whatever. Like it could continue.
How do you support it?
I mean, like granted, Little Big Planet 2, apparently those servers are still active.
Wow.
But only because those levels are forward compatible with 3. So it's like the technology just agrees. But yeah, like ultimately you're making all this stuff. Will it persist?
That is kind of a sad thought, actually.
A little bit.
That it might like all go away in 10 years.
We don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
I have that with everything I've done in my career because all of my stuff is online. So, you know, it's a very common thing, I think, a very modern problem.
And I'll tell you, I went to art school for 4 years. Everything I made is gone. I don't feel bad about it. It's the stuff I got from it that to me makes sense. Yeah, because it was all stuff I did in the learning process. Maybe now if I saw it, I would be like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was back then.
I still have stuff from like elementary school, and I love it because it's fun to look back on and be like, wow, that sucks. This is great.
Do you live close to where you grew up?
No, I grew up in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But like it's fun going home because then I'll just like dig through all that stuff again and be like, wow, I made that thing and it was so bad.
Yeah.
Where in Chicago?
Deerfield, North Suburb. Are you from Chicago?
My dad's from Chicago.
Do you know where? Do you know where? Like what part?
Well, my grandparents live in Geneva now.
Okay.
And my dad grew up in Bartlett and Elgin.
Okay, I don't know that area. It might be West Side.
It's like anyway.
Or
I like
within.
Chicago. But yeah, that is a question. Like, what happens to your stuff when the technology isn't supported anymore? But
yeah. Well, I mean, we're all gonna die.
Definitely. Stay tuned to GameSpot for the Dreams review. It's not by Peter or me or anybody here, but it'll be.
Can we make sure it's spearheaded or like pinned at the end with "We're all going to die"? Quote Peter, no matter what.
Man, the review should have been made in Dreams.
That's actually that's
Wow.
Should have been an interpretive. Should have been an
Yeah.
interpretive review.
Shit. Didn't IGN?
That's so meta.
They made their
Oh
scorecard.
shit! Did I just
in,
subconsciously pull that idea? They did do that.
No, I think
and I'm aware of it.
They made their score in Dreams, and it like that was Simon Cardy, friend of the
That's cool.
podcast.
Good on you, Simon Cardy.
Good on you, Simon.
He also made a piece of cheese, and he's been really excited and hoping that someone would take his cheese in Dreams and use it in something else.
That's the other thing. You don't
Yeah.
even have to make a whole game. You can just make one thing
Make
and
an
see
asset.
what
The
people
world's
do
best
with it.
Oh, really? You can
cheesemaker
make
in
assets
Dreams.
for
You
it?
can
Yeah.
make audio.
Wow.
You can make
Yeah.
animation.
Yeah.
you can just. It's basically like the Unity store, but on the
But
Dreams.
free.
And then you
for
get
everyone who has
credited in
dreams.
it. In every game or every dream that uses it, you're in the credits.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you
That's
don't-
So,
yeah.
Whoa.
So people could take you could
Cheese.
make bad art, you could make bad cheese, and then
Yeah.
someone could take it, remix it, and you know,
Wow.
and using and then you show up. Yeah,
Hmm. It's like the
my vision
ultimate
all
internet
along.
game in a way.
it's very.
very cool.
It seems like a very special game.
All right, let's talk about news. So obviously we're going to talk about Animal Crossing in a little bit. Sony has pulled out of PAX East.
Yes.
East.
I've never been to a PAX. I've been
they're-
PAX adjacent before.
they're all right.
I haven't been to a PAX. So the PAX East, which is February 27th to March 1st in cold Boston, they've pulled out because of fears of coronavirus, which sucks, especially if you're going to PAX East just to
Yeah.
play Last of Us Part 2 because they were going to have hands on there. Sony Interactive Entertainment made a statement, said, "We felt this was the safest option as the situation is changing daily. We are disappointed to cancel our participation in this event, but the health and safety of our global workforce is our highest concern."
Yeah, given
And also the gamers.
PAX East is too big. It's fine. Just go to PAX West. It's better.
but also
Don't
I,
at me.
You know, I think it's a fair thing when it's like
Yeah.
a large gathering is an unpredictable.
I mean, Mobile World Congress in Barcelona was fully cancelled too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's huge.
I was reading something about it because it was something to do with their insurance. They needed the government to announce it as an emergency.
right.
Yeah.
You can't just obviously cancel a massive trade show
It's a
without losing
huge
a ton
conference.
of money. And
Yeah.
they cancel Mobile World Congress.
Wow.
But yeah, like, I mean, PAX East is like huge and gets so many people. It's a shame though, because like I saw Neo 2 was playable and some other games I'm sure people were really looking forward to. So it's got to be like a huge shame if you're planning on going, but it is understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, you go
Put
to
it on
PAX
the
and it's like it's a
PlayStation
roll of the
Store.
dice if you're gonna get the PAX Pox or PAX Plague.
Yeah.
Like it really is just like
Conflu,
yeah, it's
conflu.
like roll the dice. Are you gonna get it or not? And like who knows with like coronavirus going around.
Nice thing though is there's going to be a ton of good games there. Otherwise, like Sony's stuff missing out is like yeah, but maybe spend that time looking at things you wouldn't normally.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's usually about like third-party developers, really, and indie developers. Like, there's so many
Yeah.
good indie games that
Precisely.
like deserve more attention at those cons.
Yeah, that's primarily what we try to do when we go there from the editorial team anyway, is like we know you know the big games already. You don't need us to tell you about those necessarily, but here's some stuff that we really don't always have the bandwidth to talk about. So,
There's been times where I've gone to PAXs and like gotten games on my radar that I wouldn't have maybe known about, and then being the person who decides what games get reviewed, it's nice to have like I mean I like going to PAXs because I'm like I just get hands on with games and I'm like, oh, that was really cool. I am going to make sure we prioritize that. I mean, because obviously we can't review everything, but
Yeah.
So it's nice to have those hands on with smaller games to kind of get a sense of like, is this something that makes sense for us to do?
Do you think anyone else is going to pull out? Because Sony pulling out is pretty huge.
Yeah,
sure.
they
They're a
also pulled
Japanese
out of
company, though.
E3, so I don't. Who knows?
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on how badly they spent all this money already, right? It's just like how badly do you want to keep marketing? I mean, I guess you don't have to. You can cancel flights and hotels, but still, you bought the space.
You have to pay for floor space.
Right, floor space is the most expensive part by far. You probably already pay for the booth and everything, which is also super expensive.
I mean,
So,
how much time will have been put into making that playable,
right?
that demo, like polishing that demo?
Oh, I feel bad for the developers, the dev team, actually.
Because are there any other events?
Well, I was gonna say like we could hear something else like happening with that.
Put it
right?
on
Yeah.
the PlayStation Store.
Sure, maybe.
Yeah,
You
sure.
never know.
I mean, I'm
Give a
sure
demo.
I'm sure those demos will be going around regardless for a while.
I
But-
remember when Last of Us Part 1 came out, and that was when, still in the age of debug PS3s, we had a disc that had
oh yeah,
there was a debug disc with the demos of Last of Us on, and it was the town, the bit with Bill, and that was just like the demo, and it was awesome, and you could have it and play it in the comfort of your own home. Didn't even have to go to a trade show.
You know, like the other thing with PAX though is like they have stuff like what you're talking about, Kallie, like the PAX 10 that they do, where like it really showcases like games that end up being big. Like the Maw was from PAX 10, which is by the guys who made Explosion Man. They made like a couple other really big indie games.
Explosion Man.
And then Miss Explosion Man, yes. And then also I think like the first time Shovel Knight was shown was at PAX. So like there are games that just really blow up that first appear at PAX.
I think Disco Elysium was the same.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 game. Great game.
Great game.
Excellent game.
Not a great game.
10 out of 10 on GameSpot though, which is what matters.
That's why I played it.
That's fine. At least you gave it a shot.
I gave it a full shot. I finished the game.
No game is for everybody, but Disco Elysium was excellent. So
I don't know if you're saying this to like discourage me or if you played it. I can't tell. Did you play Disco Elysium?
100%.
Okay. What'd you think of it?
I loved it. I'm being serious. I mean, we gave it a 10 out of 10, but also like
I found the writing so pretentious. It bothered me. I don't know. Like I was just annoyed. It's like, do you have a friend who like thinks they know it all and they use big words just for the sake of using big words, but they don't sound any smarter for using it? It's just they think they do. This game is the embodiment of that friend to me.
Well, see, I think Disco Elysium knows the meaning of the things it's saying, though, which would be the difference between that kind of person and the game.
I mean, I think it does too, but I think the person who does that knows the meaning of those words. It's just more, it just sounds pretentious because they don't need to do it. I don't know. I'm glad that you loved it, and I fully stand by GameSpot's 10 out of 10. Fully stand by it.
Why? You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Because
I was
I'm here.
choosing you.
I don't know. It's just like it just wasn't for me, and that's fine. I know like a lot of people love it. Like I was talking to my roommate about it, and I was like, I think it'd be more up his alley. And I was like, honestly, like I'd recommend he play it. And like RPG mechanics of it are good.
I totally was just messing with you. You were free to not like the game.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
We talked about it so much during our end of the year podcast stuff.
Did you?
Because like Jake loved it.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a lot, which is so it's more a joke.
I'm really the outsider, the outcast here, because you're saying like everybody loves it so much.
Actually, it's becoming
it's
it's becoming a middling show on HBO. I regret.
Do they just spend too much time now focusing on the outsider, just with the camera?
They're doing.
They did that a lot in the first 5
down in the
episodes.
middle.
They're doing the God, we signed up for 10 episodes and I don't know if we can do that.
It's frustrating.
Sure.
I hope they land the ending. Other news. This is a Peter Brown suggestion. Nintendo Virtual Console is adding SNES. So yes, mate. I'm British.
SNES?
I'm British. I'm gonna say it. So free SNES and NES games for Switch Online.
You're the official.
I genuinely haven't heard of any of these because I never had either of these consoles growing up.
Sure.
I didn't either.
What?
That was an air.
We
high
high-fived.
five. I had PC, PlayStation 1, PS2.
Okay.
And
I was
then,
gonna say,
I had a Genesis.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Genesis people. I was lucky. Like I got a Super Nintendo first, but then I saved up for like a year of my allowances to get a Sega Genesis. So I was able to have both.
See, at that point in my life, my parents we had a Genesis. We had it because they wanted it. Both of my parents play games.
that's why we had a PC because my dad wanted to play things like
That's why
Tomb
I had-
Raider and Worms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad
Worms
bought a new PC just
Also,
because
Worms
his
is a
PC
great game.
wouldn't run Worms, so he bought a whole new PC just for it.
Love
Your
that.
dad sounds like a good guy.
He is. I bought him. It was actually very sweet for Christmas. He asked me for some games that were like Myst
Yeah.
and Riven. So I set him up with a Steam account.
Ooh.
And I bought him The Room 1 and 2.
Yeah, good choices.
There was a game that the people who made Myst made in like 2011.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name. Unfortunately, his PC doesn't run it. He's annoyed. He got Portal 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because you could tell there was a sale on. I got him like 7 games. And then the other one was that game that's basically Myst where you're sort of like a robot.
Yeah.
And you move things around and very portally. Oh, it begins with like a T. Is it a T? I don't remember. It's going to come back to me sort of midway through.
I think I know what game you're talking about. But like, have you played room escape games? Your dad that like the room is kind of like.
As in,
not escape rooms that you go to in real life, but room escape games like Crimson Room or Viridian Room.
Oh no.
Okay. Here's your recommendation from me to your dad.
To my dad, to Nick
that
James.
I think like take back to him. These are free Flash games. Neutral Escape and Mild Escape. Search for those online. Like they're so good puzzly type of games like Myst, but you're stuck in a room and just have to figure out how to get out. And that's it.
Oh, yeah, he'd be so
They're so good. It's like the Room took from that genre. But like, yeah, those two specifically, Mild Escape and Neutral Escape, I think are the best. I love escape rooms. I'm really passionate about them.
Escape.
I'm so excited about
that's
this.
why you like 999 so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though the escape rooms in 999 aren't very good, I just like the story of it.
Drag
They're
'em.
like, it's a bad escape room game with a cool story. What?
I said drag 'em.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can't remember the name of that game, and all I could hear in my head is Transdermal Celebration by Ween, because it sounds
Ween.
yeah,
Yes.
like
Talos Principle.
Talos Principle. I knew there was a T. Thank you, Talos Principle.
we got there. But anyway, the
Transdermal
Super
Sound.
Nintendo.
So I've genuinely never
forgot
heard
how
of
we
any
got
of these
here.
games. Peter Brown, please tell us about these games. So Poppin' Twin B.
It's a Konami shooter that's fine.
It looks great if you have a friend to play with. Looks like a great co-op shooter game to me.
Sure.
Top down.
It's fine. I play a lot of shmups.
Okay, I won't play it with
Twin
you.
Twin B is a bit basic
Eh.
in my realm.
Smash Tennis.
A fine game that didn't get a release in the US.
Oh. Shadow of the Ninja.
Okay, this is the one to get excited about.
I've been wanting to play this for a long time, actually.
This is a
Yeah.
talk about good co-op game. Okay. Ninja Gaiden was sort of like the blueprint for 8-bit ninja games. Like there were a lot of other ninja games on the NES. Ninja Gaiden was the one that really stuck. And Shadow of the Ninja is like, okay, what if we refined it, made it less bullshit, and we sort of like added a bit of like urban, like cybernetic, like kind of.
Je ne sais quoi.
yeah.
No, the like the vile kind of like, you know,
Dirty.
Grimy.
sinister. There's a bit of there's more of a sinister flair to it, I suppose.
None of your verbs, none of them.
Okay,
None of your adjectives.
for all my people out there, it's like a Taito game made by Natsume. So
So,
I understood half of that.
okay, first of all, Ninja Gaiden bullshit. Yeah, that's true. That's
No,
very
the,
true.
The first two games are great. 3 takes it to an extreme.
3 is stupid.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. But like, yeah, I've made it a habit of collecting all the ninja games on the NES because there was a game I loved when I was a kid that I rented from Blockbuster and I never found it again. And I remembered it having a ninja. So I bought every ninja game and I missed Shadow of the Ninja. And it turns out the game was Jackie Chan Jackie
Oh yeah,
Chan.
sure. A
I
surprisingly good game.
I have to say, I'm bursting at the seams. So you got Ninja Gaiden 1, Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden 3, and Cruisin' USA?
Yes.
That's for Lucy.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Oh, it's
If you know, you know.
We
We have mentioned it on like so many episodes and we won't tell the audience what it is.
Most people know what we're referencing.
Most people
now.
must know because it's iconic. So anyway,
Shadow of the
Gaiden.
Ninja is a wonderful game. Or yeah, Shadow of the Ninja you should get. It's not. You should buy it on your NES. It's not that
I'll take your
expensive.
recommendation. Yeah,
It's like
actually, like
$15.
I,
free.
I collect.
No, I know. Well, it's not
I actually
free. It's
collect
$8 a
now
month.
like boxed NES games and Super Nintendo games.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'll take it. Why? Well, yeah, it's expensive.
Cardboard is
it's a
the-
very expensive hobby.
Cardboard is the scariest thing. Can I sell you some games?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want them complete?
Do you have them on the NES and SNES?
I have like 90 NES games for sale. They're not complete though.
Yeah, as long as it has the box, that's really what I'm looking for.
No, just cards.
Oh, I was saying the box. I'm collecting
Well, that's
the
what I
box.
mean when I said I'm not complete. Like I said, cardboard scares me.
But maybe you don't have the instruction manual. I don't know.
I have some instruction manuals, but no, I don't like boxes. They terrify the shit out of me.
What's in the box?
What's it?
It's
That's all I got.
And also eliminate a
What's
boat
in the
duel.
I gotta ask about
so that's
that,
actually a
about
pretty decent game. Yeah, it literally it's like 2 like speedboats kind of racing, like throwing things at each other.
So I missed what these games are. They're the free SNES and NES games.
It's not free. If you're a
For-
Nintendo Online subscriber,
you're
they get added
okay.
to your sort of allotment of games.
I'm on Tam's family plan.
The Tamley plan.
I would advise you, and I'm saying this
Yeah.
as someone who's been collecting games for almost 20 years. You should watch Not for Resale, this new documentary that just came out.
yeah.
It'll give you some introspection regarding collecting, not to diminish why you want your NES games complete,
Because it's not to sell them, right? It's just for me.
but why.
Ooh.
because I look at my collection and it's games that mean a lot to me, and it makes me happy.
Every NES game means a lot to you?
The ones that I buy. I don't buy every NES game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted every NES game.
No.
Okay.
I
take it all
just
back.
buy the
You're
ones
fine.
that mean a lot to me.
Yes, yes, yes.
Still
You're
watch
fine.
the documentary.
You're fine.
Apparently, it
But
sounds
yeah, I'll
good.
still buy it. Watch it. Buy it. Watch
it's a good documentary. It definitely I'm sort of like I was gushing about hardware before. I've gotten to the point where it's like my collection was never about quantity. It was always about quality, like games that I would like to play eventually if I haven't played them already, or ones I love a lot. Now I just want to keep the ones I love a lot and really focus on the hardware. But this documentary really focuses in on the why people collect, why people use video game stores, and sort of how they survive and rationalize that within the modern gaming landscape where nostalgia is so powerful. It's a pretty interesting look. But I'm glad you're not collecting every one.
No.
Because otherwise I would say,
I don't have the money for that, man.
No, I know. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah,
It's like maybe once a year I'll go buy like 3 games because it's like $100 a game for like an old game.
Yeah, sometimes it's less, right?
Well, depending on the game. Like Chrono Trigger was like 150, 200 bucks.
Sure.
With the box, but
I got really lucky once. I was on the Bombcast. We were talking about my game collecting, and they were like, "What's your white whale?" And it's like, it's not the most rare, expensive thing. I just want a mint box copy of Super Metroid. It's one of my favorite games. When I think of a retro game, it's like the one I kind of. That's the iconic one for me. I got an email from an audience member like 2 days later. It was like, "Hey, I heard you on the Bombcast. I have a box that I flattened when I bought it back in the 90s. Do you want it?" And I was like, "I mean, I pay you for it." He's like, "No, I don't." Anyway, we went back and forth a lot, and finally was just like, "Sure." I have a mint day one Super Metroid box, and it just means the world to me. Mostly
Giant Bombcast, if you want to have me on so I can have that viewer hit me up.
Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really
People
cool.
are so nice.
It was pretty special.
People are super
Yeah,
nice.
so it's like a dual sort of thing for me.
You know, it's like one man's garbage, another man's treasure. You know,
Yeah.
he was
That's really
selling his
cool.
stuff. He was like, I got the sense that this would mean a lot to you, and that's why I want to give it to you.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Did you know Super Metroid is Jake's favorite game?
Jake?
Yeah.
Who's Jake?
Decker.
I had a similar experience. Shout out to Errol Moss. I had talked about on a podcast forever ago how I had lost my Ancient Mew card. And he got me an Ancient Mew.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
Perfect condition.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. It was just I think that is one of the most thoughtful things is like mentioning something offhand and people are like, you know what, I think you would really like that. Even if it's not if you were asked directly and somebody's like, you know what, I have that thing and I don't need that thing. Like that is such a beautiful story to me.
I was shocked when I looked at it. It was one of those things where it's like, do I need to go through the steps to verify that this is real so I know it's real?
Yeah, because the mint one almost looks like the reproduction.
Yeah,
ones,
of course.
right?
But I mean, I've been around this stuff intimately for so long, and there's really just a couple telltale signs, and it was like, this is it. This is the real fucking thing. Like,
that's so cool, man.
and
Congrats.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that I will never sell, not because someone gave it to me, because of the game it is.
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what that would be for me. I got. Not that it matters. I'm just more introspecting.
That's a good podcast question.
Yeah.
So what's your gaming white whale in terms of like the game that you want or the figure that you know? So After Dark podcast at GameSpot.com if you want to email what's a gaming white whale. Because Kind of Funny do a nice thing when the Vita was like, they do this thing where they get people who are looking to get the platinum trophy and things. They'll kind of say, and they'll hook people up. So that'd be nice to do.
What is yours, Lucy?
My gaming white whale? There is I don't know actually. I've never really thought about it because I'm not.
It takes thought.
I'll come back to this next week because I've never really thought about it. Because I mean, having moved so many times, I've become pretty ruthless at culling.
Yeah,
I got rid of all of my gaming boxes, for example, and I just have a big disc sleeve.
Yeah.
I actually have an answer, but it's like I had an answer because I got it. I've never been like I don't need a mint condition thing. But I used to buy every Pokemon game. I would get red, blue, and yellow.
Yeah.
I did not have friends, and I would trade with myself. And my brother wasn't into Pokemon, so like eventually I got Sapphire and he got Ruby, but then I inherited his Ruby because he didn't really play it. Anyway, I always wanted a Pokemon Green because that was like the one Pokemon game I couldn't get here.
Yeah.
And my last trip to Japan, I got a boxed copy of Pokemon Green.
Was it from Super Potato?
It was not from Super Potato. It was from a random game store in Shinjuku.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, I was so excited. And John Luke got me a box copy of Pokemon Yellow. So I think the last one I would really want is Crystal, because Crystal's my favorite, like from a nostalgia purposes. The first Pokemon game you could play as a girl. It was really important to me. It was actually the first Pokemon game I played because I didn't want to play a game until I could play as a girl. And then I went back and played Red, Blue, and Yellow. I was like 8. I was just like I want to be a girl, and I was upset. I don't know. I've always been like this. And I think lastly, it's all Pokemon. I don't have Black or Black 2. I only have White and White 2, but they're like $100 or something now.
No. Weird. Why are they $100?
Really expensive. I don't know. The DS Pokemon games are really expensive.
Are you talking like
really?
new?
Like they're really hard to get.
Let me help you, because that doesn't sound right to me.
Okay.
I hate to be that guy who's like, let me mansplain how to get by this game.
No,
But
I
like,
would love your help. I would absolutely love your help.
I'm befuddled by this.
Heart Gold and Soul Silver, if you want them with a Poke Walker, it's like $300.
Wow.
Super expensive. I still have my original Heart
I could
Gold.
sell mine on.
Hey.
Because mine is just gathering dust at my mum's place.
Yeah, mine's at my parents' place. But
You don't know that your mom is just there using that, playing those games.
Getting those steps in.
I regret not getting Black and Black 2 because there's a different location in Black and White.
Yeah.
And I prefer the city thing. And
I'm trying to remember which one I got.
that generation
The
is
two.
like, it's based on New York and
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. Anyway, that's the last one I really want.
Should we talk about Animal Crossing?
Let's.
So, out of all of us here, for transparency, you're the only one who's watched the direct. Was it everything you hoped for and more?
I would say, like, I was actually very nervous about New Horizons. I was worried it would be, up until now, I was worried it would be too similar to Pocket Camp. I really fell off of Pocket Camp, and it's because of the, it's really hard to explain the subtle differences between like a main Animal Crossing game and Pocket Camp.
Was Pocket Camp the one that was on the cell phones?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like a part of it is because it had like the mobile like microtransaction thing. Like you have to wait 5 hours for this thing to happen, and it's like in main Animal Crossing games you have to wait because it's real time, but it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, it feels very different.
It's a very intangible thing to me, and I don't quite have the vocabulary to like fully, because I didn't play enough Pocket Camp to fully explain what didn't click with me. But part of it was the emphasis on like friendship with villagers, and so that's something I was concerned about in New Horizons, the deserted island theme. Like I really like Animal Crossing because my whole life I wanted to move to like a farm, like get away from I'm gonna sound really bratty for a second. I grew up by the beach. I hate the beach. I hate swimming. I am super pale. I can be out in the sun for like 15 minutes, and I just wanted to live like in a forest. I wanted to go somewhere with trees. I didn't have any trees on the street I grew up on, and so I was so drawn to Animal Crossing because it was like a town that my dad grew up in the Midwest.
It's like Harvest Moon would be your jam too.
It sure is.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, Stardew Valley is one of my favorite
Stardew
games ever.
Valley. Yeah.
And so I was nervous about the island thing because I've never wanted to like move to paradise. Like my dream is moving to a farm in the middle of nowhere and being like, look at all those cows. Like I just I'm not like, I can't wait to move to Bali. So the direct, and I also played about half an hour of New Horizons from the very beginning. So I just like started a new island essentially, and it really assuaged my fears a lot. I think one of the biggest things is that the game kind of emphasizes friendship right away, and that's one of the biggest things I love about Animal Crossing is meeting the villagers in your town and slowly befriending them and sending them letters and just cute little interactions like that. And the like right away you get to the island. Basically the premise is Tom Nook has a new corporation where he has kind of like a timeshare on this island where he's like, come, let's live on this deserted island together. It's my new business venture. And it's only you and 2 other villagers to start, which is fewer villagers than you would start with in a previous Animal Crossing.
Because usually it was like 5, right?
Yeah, it's
Something
like 5.
that. Yeah.
And I think the max is like 8 or something. So it's only 2. I got Deirdre and Kevin. So for those who know.
Deirdre.
Deirdre, she's beautiful. The graphics are really good. Anyway, I'll get there. But you like the first thing is like we're gonna have a big like ceremony to welcome everybody, and we're gonna work together, and we're gonna have this like little party because we only have each other here, and we're gonna build our relationships here. And it sounds silly that like just the dialogue these animals give you can set that tone, but it really does. And I was like, okay, everything's gonna be okay. And I was worried about the crafting, but it doesn't replace the things that you're used to in Animal Crossing, like checking the store every day for new furniture. One of the things that we learned in the Direct is that you can upgrade to buildings like the Nook's Cranny, Able Sisters, the museum is confirmed, the campsite from the New Leaf DLC.
The museum is what I care about the most by far.
Basically, you're not just moving to a deserted island and like ditching everything, you're building your own Animal Crossing village up. And you can still like go to the Nook's Cranny and buy furniture, and there's going to be furniture there that like you can't craft. So it's not like everything you just craft, which is the case in Pocket Camp basically. So there's like little things that made me like, okay, I'm fully excited now. I was nervous, now I'm excited.
So how did the crafting system work exactly?
So you get like a Nook phone, like a smartphone, and the game's really cute. It's like, do you own a smartphone? Because obviously there's gonna be children who have never used a smartphone before.
Yeah.
And so you can be like, oh, I already have one, which I thought was really cute. But it's like the Nook phone, and of course Tom Nook. Tom Nook is like the world's biggest capitalist. He like provides you the phone and stuff. And one of the apps is the DIY app. And at the beginning, you eventually can upgrade this building to the town hall, but you get like resident services, and you go there, and Tom Nook hosts free workshops where he teaches you how to DIY. And then from once you take the first one, you can then you'll get a DIY recipe that'll be like, here's how you craft a workbench. And then you can upload that you can like learn the recipe, and it's in your app.
Nice. Yeah.
But I actually like how the phone is integrated. It kind of sounds like too contemporary or something, but there's you get like Nook mileage points, like a typical like airline mileage thing from like, oh, I talked to everybody today, I get miles. And then the miles can be used to pay off your debt because you took this trip like a timeshare. And so you got to use your miles to pay off the airplane fees.
Of course you do.
Peter is going to die.
I just
not your cup of tea.
No, I liked the first Animal Crossing. I just haven't what is it? I don't know. It hasn't like washed over me the way that I feel like it has some people. So maybe the Switch one will do it for me, because it's been a long time since I've really tried.
Yeah, I love the Doom Twitter account basically standing Animal Crossing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've really, because obviously they come out on the same day, and the Doom Twitter account is really leaning into it.
Yeah.
Smart of them.
The Doom subreddit, people are like making Animal Crossing like Doom crossover art.
That's great.
And it's really wholesome.
That's very good.
We have a whole article about it, like compiling some of the best fan art. But like, it's really wholesome how the Doom community is like, we're going to hell. And then like the Animal Crossing community is like,
capitalism, you're already here.
Yeah, we're going to hell in a different way. Yeah, and it's interesting because the Direct starts with like this recap of stuff we already knew. But if you weren't like really paying attention, you probably didn't know some of it. One of the things is that like you can choose for the first time whether you're in the northern or southern hemisphere. That's something they mentioned kind of offhandedly.
So you have to choose which way the toilet flushes.
Exactly.
Right. All right.
That's something they mentioned kind of offhand during like a Treehouse stream after the Direct during E3 2019. And they literally were just like, you can choose. And then like they kind of brushed past it. I rewatched it today just to be sure.
Nice.
But I think it's really cool because I was thinking about, we have a whole team of colleagues in Australia. And I'm like, I don't think any of them are particularly into Animal Crossing. But if they were, for the first time, it's like, oh, it's winter when it's winter for me.
Right, exactly.
And that's one of the things that is cool about the real-time stuff in Animal Crossing is you're like I really like wintertime. I got Wild World was my favorite Animal Crossing for a really long time. I played it every day for like 2 years. And I first got it for Christmas. So wintertime doesn't feel complete without Animal Crossing to me. I'm so excited I like can't even speak. And it's just I think that's important for other people too, and it's nice to see one of those choices. But they also had new stuff in the Direct.
Do you feel like there's more to do throughout the day? Because that was the one thing I ran into with Animal Crossing is like I'd play for 5 minutes and be like, I guess that's it. I guess I'm done. So yeah, I'm just curious.
I think one of the big things that like one of the new things they revealed is it's called the Island Designer app, I believe. And it's basically a construction mode you can enter into, and you can basically terraform your island. So you can like, oh, I don't like that the cliff is here. I'm going to add more land so the land stretches out longer, or I'm going to add a river here. You can change the terrain of the island for the first time. And like, I could spend so much time making it perfect. Like one of my biggest regrets in life was resetting my Animal Crossing New Leaf Town after a breakup. Because I was like, all my villagers are talking about you. And well, it was weird because I broke up with him, but I was just like, I need a new start. And I restarted my Animal Crossing town, and I never settled on a new town. I was always, because you can like look at the map ahead of time and be like, I'm going to choose this one. And they still have that in this. You can choose between like 4 options. I just never found one that was perfect for me. I was so picky. Yeah. And now like you can literally just be like, you know what? I don't like that this river is here anymore. I'm going to fix it. Bye.
I went through an Animal Crossing breakup, and after the breakup, I like went into my ex-girlfriend's Animal Crossing house and stole all of her stuff.
Sick.
And then we got back together a couple months later, and she was like, where's all my stuff? And I was like, I don't know.
That's crazy. Like, I bet like, wow, like Bob is really off the shits. Like, they're really going for it. Tom Nook really repossessed all your shit. That's crazy.
She just has some of the collections that I needed to complete. I was like, I need that to complete my collections. Yeah.
No, that's very relatable. But yeah, so I one of the big things, and I know how this sounds, is paths, creating paths. So I don't know if you ever created a path in your town in previous Animal Crossing games. I don't know if you did this.
I haven't.
Did you?
No.
So it didn't start it wasn't on GameCube. In Wild World, I think starting in Wild World, or no, maybe City Folk, you could, like if you ran over the same places, it would wear down the grass. Mm-hmm. So grass wear was introduced as a mechanic. Yeah. And you could, if you like ran along the same paths, you could create your own art of like, oh, these are my special paths. Only walk on these. Or you could get patterns of like bricks and then like stand in a place, select, go to patterns, hit the pattern you want, place, and then move and do that. And it was like the most painful thing. I did this. Like
you survived.
I lived through it, but I spent so much time being like, and then if you wanted a new pattern and you got a new one and you downloaded a new one, oh, I got a new shirt. Now all of the bricks are shirts. Like it was the worst.
Bullshit. No. Are you serious?
Thank you. Yes. So anyway, through the Island Designer app, there's now just like a separate path menu, and you can easily lay paths and then make them curved or squared. People are going to go ape shit for that.
But what if I want brick shirts?
You can still have brick shirts.
Okay. What about shirt bricks?
Shirting bricks right now.
So anyway, those were some big things. There's a tool selection wheel, like a weapon wheel.
Tool time. It's tool time.
It's tool time. And it's unlockable. There's like stuff you can unlock as rewards through the Nook mileage program.
I've hit platinum status in the Nook mileage program.
I have a special like Nook Miles card.
Hooked on Nook.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can like unlock
the Nook High Club.
Yeah. One of the things you can unlock is a tool selection wheel, like a weapon wheel, so you don't have to like click through the D-pad or go into your menu. It's like little stuff, but I'm so pumped. And as everyone is aware, the villagers can wear long sleeve shirts now.
Finally. Our prize has been answered.
It gets cold in deserted islands in the tropics. Sometimes you need a long sleeve shirt.
Well, some of them are in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah. All right. Let's get on to listener questions. Let's speed through these because we've been going for like an hour and 20, and also we're having a night out.
Yeah, we really gotta go.
And also, I'm wearing high-waisted jeans. I've had a beer.
Me too.
I need to pee.
Oh, you too.
Okay, we all need to pee. Okay, that's
You're
different.
not wearing high-waisted jeans.
I have
Aren't I?
undone the top button. I don't know if anyone saw me subtly do that. That's my
You're subtle.
my life hack. So email us afterdarkpodcast@gamespot.com. I know that I looked, even though we say it every week. I feel bad. This isn't a question. This is a iTunes review. Please review us on iTunes, especially if you leave great reviews like this one, which is 5 stars from J Smash. I just want to read it out loud because it really made me laugh. One of my coworkers was being super annoying the other day, so I put in my headphones and started listening to GameSpot After Dark, and wow, this podcast works wonders. Not only did it drown out the intolerable voice of my bothersome coworker, but it filled my ear holes with something much more tolerable to listen to. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Decker and crew are there for you. P.S. It's Fun Fact Friday. Did you know a man named Charles Osborne had hiccups for 68 years, from 1922 to 1990? They started after a 300-pound hog fell on top of him while he was getting ready to slaughter it. The hiccup stopped when he was 96, about a year before he died. What a life. P.P.S. I'm not out of characters yet, so here's a bonus fact. Did you know in England, in the 1880s, pants was considered a dirty word? Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Good game and good day. Thank you, J Smash. Dave, do you want to read this question from Sean from Houston?
Hey, After Dark crew. Been listening since episode 1 and I love the show. You guys make my Monday workday that much easier to get through, so thanks. I'm writing in because on last week's episode, Lucy said something that hit me and made me curious. She has misophonia. Did I pronounce that correctly?
I don't know.
Lucy?
I say misophonia.
Oh, misophonia. Excuse me.
But I've only ever seen it written down.
Peter's
So
I have it, so.
then we have a conversation. We need to have a conversation off
Have
air
you been
about,
dying from us drinking the beers next to you?
No, so
crunching.
it's actually, I didn't know what it was until a few years ago. Knowing what it was has given me the power to actually be aware of my reactions to it and learn how to cope with it. So
And
it's
as
gotten a lot
Jay
better
Smash
for me.
says, knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
From the context, I figured it was about the mouth noises happening, and I Googled it. What the hell? I've been fighting this thing my whole life and never knew it had a name. I get so irrationally angry at people when I hear them eat or drink. I don't mean to and almost never say anything about it because, well, am I supposed to say stop eating?
Yes, that's the fight that we have.
I remember one time I yelled at my then girlfriend to stop eating, and then she broke up with me, and immediately felt like the absolute dog shit. Luckily, she understood. Yeah, she didn't break up with him over this.
That's nice.
Anyways, this led me to a question for you all. Is there anything that makes you irrationally angry, and has it ever gotten you in trouble? Kallie, thanks for all you do. Keep it up. Sean, Houston.
I thought their name was Sean Houston. It's Sean from Houston. That makes a lot more sense. But anyway, maybe for people who didn't listen to last week's episode, misophonia.
It's the irritation from mouth noises.
It's more than that.
I mean, it is a primal reaction. It's like I don't get it from nails on a chalkboard, but it's that classic.
It's repetitive stimulus that you have no control over that sends you into a fit of rage because you fixate upon it. It's a form of OCD.
Is it? I didn't realize it was
Yes.
that deep. I just thought it was not liking mouth noises because
Well-
I'm fine with some eating sounds, but there are things that just really just send a shiver down my spine.
Like
Yeah.
what eating sounds?
Crunching.
Okay, so
Crunching.
no Captain Crunch around you.
No
Rice Krispies.
Nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like I have it. Crunching doesn't bother me. That's not the sort of thing. It has to do with the repetition.
So if I was like tapping my foot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even if I didn't hear it, if I saw it in the corner of my eye, that's enough to trigger it as well. Misophonia translates to the hatred of sound, but it's more than just that. That's why I said stimulus, because it can even be visual. Like for example, my girlfriend used to like just have like a random like kind of fidget that we had to like work through. Like I had to be like, I'm really upset by what you're doing, and I know it's stupid, but we need to talk about it because if I don't address it, I'm gonna like lose it. And we had to like cope with the like, you're being crazy. And I was like, yeah, I know, but this is just what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
It's a whole suite of things. For example, my dad his jaw used to click. So it almost becomes a mental game as well, because it's like, it's the stimulus, but it's what you do with that stimulus. So sometimes if it's the eating thing, it's like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. What's their problem? Why do they keep doing that? Don't they realize? You almost get this like you want to do it back at them. The only way to cope is to like aggressively do it back. My dad, he used to chew and his jaw would click. I thought he was biting everything super hard. I didn't know his jaw was clicking. And I used to sit there and just stare at him and be like, listen up, old man.
One of these days.
You're just eating bread. Why are you biting it with all your force? It took, my parents never understood what it was. It took 30 years for me to figure it out.
Did you come to them with a revelation like, oh my God?
I did kind of explain it to them, but I've had to rationalize it more with myself than anyone else because it's been a thing that's been very challenging up until the last 2 years.
So
very
that
challenging.
makes both of you irrationally angry. Kallie, do you have anything specifically, as Sean asked?
I mean,
Commas.
What?
Commas.
Dude. Oh, yeah. Peter knows me too well. So many people don't know how to use commas. And the thing is, I know that grammar is made up. I know it's made up, and I know it's classist to care. But when people, it's like,
What have you done, Peter?
I answered a question for her.
like when the comma.
I have to be so bad, please.
Sorry. I really can't read anything without editing it. It's part of my job. I edit most of the day. And the thing is, like, I'm aware, like, I would never judge. I would never be like, you're not smart because you don't know how to use a comma. But I look at it and I'm like, why did you put a colon there? That's not where you would do that. Like, how do you? And it seems because the rules of grammar, seem like math to me. They are so. I just know the rules. Like, I just know, like you know. And I'm sorry.
So is too many commas more annoying or too few commas?
Just any. I'm just like, how do you not understand?
I need to be an adult right now and actually leave the room to go to the bathroom. I'm so sorry.
And I'm jealous. I'm hosting this thing. I can't do that. You go.
We can't cut. We can't
I don't
fake
know.
it. We can't fake it with a 1 to a Y.
I mean, okay, you
know.
go and then.
No, let's just do this
Let's
last question.
all right.
Okay.
Last question. Can you skip to Robert J's question here?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's short. We'll blast through
Kallie's
it.
doing
Go
it.
pee.
Hello, After Dark crew. I sometimes record my game sessions, but hearing my voice always deters me from revisiting them. Since this is a podcast, do you ever feel uncomfortable with listening to your own voice? Do you do anything to overcome that feeling? Thank you for reading and keep up the good work. Sincerely, Robert J. I hate listening to and seeing myself and realizing that I'm a person that other people can perceive. You know?
Yeah.
You existing.
Like, wow, other people like
see
have to
me.
like look at me and like see that I am a person.
I hate listening to my voice now because Tam posted a video literally yesterday on Twitter of us playing Overwatch from 2016, and I listened to it and I was like, oh my god, what's happened to my accent?
No.
Yeah, it's I sound like a completely different person. And I can't help that. I'm one of those people who takes in the accents of people around me. I've obviously lived in America for 18 months. All my friends are American. My boyfriend's American. Like, everyone's American around me. And so my voice takes on these intonations.
What?
I don't know. Just the phrase, everyone's American around me.
Everyone's American around me in this United States of America.
Wow.
That, like, but the thing is, I also osmosis accents. And so when Timur says something to me and I don't hear him, I'm like, what?
I mean, Peter came in earlier and was like, hello, is this the Lou? Or something like that.
No, I feel so bad, but I can't help it.
Yeah, it's, and so I think listening to your voice deterring you from listening to your game recordings, don't let it do that. It's just exposure. You keep listening to it, you get used to your own voice. Yeah. It just sounds weird because when you listen to your own voice as you're speaking, you're hearing it from inside.
Yes.
Yeah, and the reason that happens is because you're hearing it reverberating through bone, and when you listen to it back, you're hearing it reverberate through normal sound waves. So you're hearing your own voice through bone.
Don't trust
sometimes
bone.
It's pretty metal.
Sometimes you also have to remember, like, it could be bad mic quality. Like, I've been doing, when I first heard my voice like 15 years ago on a camera stuff, I was like mortified by what I sounded like. But now, like, I've been doing stuff on camera and like VO and all that for 10 years. So like, sometimes I'm like, wow, my voice sounds like crap, but I know it's a bad mic because I know what my voice sounds like at this point. And you kind of know, and you can tell that too. So that helps. But yeah, like you said, it's just the more you do it, the more you hear it, the more you get used to, and you're okay with it. Mm-hmm. Unless you're Lucy, who loses a really cool accent and turns into a crap accent.
Don't worry, I'm going to bring it back. I didn't even ever use
You
this.
sounded like, oh my god, Kathy
Kathy Bates.
No. Moira from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, yeah, that's
Sorry,
great.
Peter.
I
Don't
love
touch
that.
me, I might pee.
Bursting at the
Alexis.
seams.
Do you wonder why I'm gripping the
Alexa.
chair right
All
now?
right, let's do plugs and let's all go and use the bathroom because I just feel like this is a Grandpa Simpson situation. Where
I'm diabetic, I gotta pee.
Okay. Dave, where can people find you online?
Dave Control, YouTube. GameSpot Universe, also YouTube. At the Dave Klein on Twitter.
Are you
or Instagram.
deliberately speaking slowly?
Yes.
Kallie. You can find me on Twitter at InkyDoji. INKYDOJ@KKO. Yeah, bro.
If I survive, you can find me at PC Brown on Twitter.
I'm at Lucy James Games. Dave, thank you so much for joining us. It's nice having
Thanks
you
for
in San
having me.
Francisco this week. Thank you everyone else for watching. We'll be back again next week, and Jake will be back to have a steadier hand on the tiller than I've had this week. Love you, bye.
Bye.